Hello, my name is Jeremy Yankey. Welcome to my initial podcast of Survivor Zone. What I want to talk about here each week is I want to mainly focus on NFL Survivor. I'll get into a little bit of pick'em contests. I'll get into a little bit of daily fantasy sports. But the main focus is going to be Survivor. If you're not familiar with what Survivor is, so how Survivor works is you pick a team. Week one starting next week here. You pick one team to survive. So let's say we pick the Eagles on Thursday night. And if they win, they beat the Cowboys, you survive into week two. The only catch is you can never pick that team again. So once you take them, you can't take them again. As we know, there's 18 weeks of the NFL season. So, it's 32 teams. You got to pick at least 18 of those. I'm part of a group that was in some contests last year. The main focus of this podcast will be Circa Survivor, which is the largest football contest there is in the world. Last year it drew over 14,200 entries, which created a $14.2 million prize pool because the entries are $1,000 a piece. So my group this year, we're going to have 3 entries in that. I also are going to have 4 entries in the Hard Rock, Cincinnati. Most of my group is from the Cincinnati area that I'm a part of. And then also there's 4 entries into a $50 private Survivor that I've been a part of for the last 3 years on CBS Sports. I'm going to give you the information on how to get into each one of those. If you want to get in, you can certainly reach out to me. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Yankey. I'm also on Facebook. You can send me a message. Or if you have my phone number, just send me a text. I'll get you the information on how to get in any of those Survivor contests. But getting into the big one is Circa. I'll hit on that mostly. Circa Survivor in Las Vegas. They started this in 2020. Derek Stevens, the owner of Circa Casinos. If you've never been there, it's amazing. You got to get there. It's downtown. They started this Survivor contest with $1 million guarantee in 2020. That was before the casino even opened. They did it across the street at their sister casino, the Golden Gate. They ended up with 1,300 and so entries, so it created a $1.3 million prize pool. The great thing about Circa is they take no rake. They take nothing out of it. All the money that is brought in is paid back out. And that's why they got with $14.2 million last year. They ended up getting split at the end 8 ways. There was 8 winners that went 20-0. Now, 20-0 with Circa is because they take and add an extra week in week 13. 13A would be the Thanksgiving Day games, those 3 games, and then the 1 game on Friday, the Black Friday game. So those 4 games are its own week. You have to pick someone there. So that, as you can imagine, makes strategizing even that much tougher. They also do the same thing with week 17. That's the Christmas Day games. Those 3 games are its own week, 17A, and then 17B follows with the Sunday games. And then in week 18, the final week of the NFL season, they're down to however many entries. Last year they had 18. 10 of those got eliminated. 8 of them ended up getting a share of the prize pool, share of that $14.2 million. If you look here, you can follow on Circa Sports at Twitter. It's a great follow. $1.783 million to each of those 8 entries last year, so pretty good payday for a $1,000 entry. There's a lot of ways you can monetize. There's a site called Survivor Sweat. You can sell action on your entries as you get deeper into the year. You can get into all those things, and we can get into that in later podcasts. Right now, I just want to kind of introduce you to the things that I'm being involved in, and hopefully you tune back in each week. You hit like and subscribe wherever you're finding this podcast. I plan on releasing my picks each week on Sunday, about 11 or 12. You can look for that new podcast. That way you can kind of follow along with me and who my group's taking in each of those contests. But Circa Survivor, you have to go there and register in person. Nevada gaming laws require that, so I'm heading out there on Wednesday. I'll be there Wednesday evening. I have a appointment with my proxy service on Thursday morning on September 4th. The proxy, you pay them, it was $250 for my 3 entries is what we paid. We paid that way back early because we got a discount. Basically, it's always generally about $100 an entry, and they'll put their picks in for you because unless you live right there in Las Vegas, and even if you do, it's probably smart to get a proxy. The proxy will put your picks in for you every week. I don't live in Las Vegas. I'm out of state, so I would have to fly there every week to put my picks in. Not practical. So you hire a proxy. You sign up with them. You got to be there to register yourself, and then they put your picks in for you every week. So I have to have my picks into them by midnight on Fridays through their website, and then they put my picks in for me for that week. that's how Circle works. And then, as I said, there's another one that I was a part of last year with my group, Hard Rock Casino in Cincinnati. In their sports book, they have a nice contest. They didn't. I don't believe they took out any rake. There was 156 entries last year. $100 an entry, very affordable. One person took it down, I believe, in week 7, 8, or 9, right around there, and $15,600 I think he got for a $100 entry. Pretty good payout on their contest. You can get into their contest. You got to go in person to Hard Rock Casino, Cincinnati, by midnight this coming Saturday, September 6th, to get entered. So that's the Hard Rock entry. I'll have 4 entries in that, 3 entries in Circa, and then I have 4 entries with my group in a private one that's on CBS Sports, $50 an entry. We typically, if I remember correctly, get about 140, 150 or so people in there. So $50 an entry, you're looking at about $7,500. Not too bad there. A little bit of money that could be won there. We will put the link in our description on this podcast for all of these down below. If you want to get into any of these, like I said, you can reach out to me, text me, message me, or hit me up on Twitter. So, I've got this NFL schedule, and I actually got this blown up real big on my wall, and I'm going through and strategizing. I'm talking to my group every week. It's a lot of fun because we're saying, hey, we need to take this team, save this team. It's a lot of strategy and planning, and I like this breakdown weekly because it gives you the games each week. I like to go in, and I'll just get into my week 1 games right now that I'm talking about and I'm thinking about. I haven't got with my group yet. We're going to do that a little later this week, but I like the Eagles. They're 6.5, 7-point favorite over the Cowboys this coming Thursday. 7.5 is what ESPN says right now. The problem with the Eagles is I think they're your best pick right now for that week 13A. So you may not want to use them right now. And I also don't like to take divisional games. Would prefer to stick to home teams too. Those are just a couple of my strategies. But I like Jacksonville this week. It's only a 3-point spread at home, playing against Carolina. That's another one. But there again, you can't just take all chalk all week. You can't just every week pick the biggest favorite. You're going to have to make some tough picks in this contest to be able to advance. So that's why I threw Jacksonville. And New England's another one. They're at home. They're playing the Raiders. They're about a 2.5, 3-point favorite, I think, last I saw. Washington at home against the Giants. Although I'm a little leery. The Giants, I think, are going to be a little better than people expect. The Broncos are going to be the chalk pick, I believe, this week in most contests because they're a 7.5, 8-point favorite. Right now it's 8.5 according to ESPN.com. They're going to be probably the number 1 pick team. So there's just a few ideas of who you could pick this week and who we might pick. As I said, tune in next Sunday and I'll tell you who our entries on. Like I said, we have 3 in Circa, 4 in Hard Rock, 4 in the private group. Also, I do a pick'em contest. This will be my 4th year doing a pick'em. How a pick'em works is it's ran through Splash, which used to be officefootballpoll.com. I've done several contests through there. It's a lot of fun. Right now I'm at 20 entries. That's Sunday afternoon. I'd like to get up to 40 entries. That's $100 a person, or basically it's $5 a week. You pick 4 teams against the spread each week, college or pro, and $5 of each of your entry goes towards that weekly prize pool. So if I get 40 people in there, the weekly prize pool is $200. If you go 4-0 that week and you're the only one in the pool that goes 4-0, you get the whole $200. If 2 of you do it, you split it, on down the line. I do put $10 of each $100 entry towards the end of the year prize pool. Now we do have to pay the side a little bit of money, usually 30, 50, 60 bucks, whatever that is. We take that out of there. The rest of the money just stays at the end of the year. Last year I think we had 32 people. I paid the top 4 spots. First place ended up with nearly $600 for the end of year, and then that guy had a heck of a year. He also won. He went 4-0 2 of those 18 weeks, so he got prize money in each of those weeks as well. So it's a fun thing to do for a little bit of money. That's my pick'em contest. If you're interested in that, hit me up, text me, message me, anything. Any way you can reach me, we can do that. And each week I'll kind of release my picks too. So I'll say, hey, these are my Survivor picks. Here's who I picked in my pick'em this week. Just to kind of inform you where I'm at, what's going on. If you like to follow football and follow betting, betting's become so popular with football, whether it be just betting games, because everyone can bet now in most states right on their phone. Fantasy football is huge. I love fantasy football. I'm going to get into that a little bit. I like doing daily fantasy. That's more my thing. I've got into several best balls this year. I'm currently in a draft right now. But there's a lot of different ways. There's so many different ways to get involved in the games, and that's what makes football so great. You know, the anticipation of every week, that one game you're picking, or that fantasy team, or whatever you're involved in. Football's just the best time of the year, man. There's so much hype and excitement. That's why the ratings are just outrageous for football. Football crushes, particularly NFL football, crushes every sport out there with TV ratings. It's not even close, but it's because there's so many different ways to bet it and get involved yourself. So, and that's what I like to do. It keeps me interested and involved. So with the DraftKings, I'm best ball. If you're not familiar with best ball, it's fun, but you're running out of time. There's a $3 best ball league you can get in. It's getting close to being capped. 15,500 people. No, that's a single entry. I'm sorry. Gosh, here it is. I'm sorry. Right, this one right here. I'm in this. I have 12 entries in this best ball. It's first place is going to be $150,000 for a $3 entry. The best ball's like buying a lottery ticket. It's like buying a football lottery ticket. So the thing with best ball is you go through the draft. It's 20 rounds. It's a snake draft. You pick your team, and then after that, you never do anything. There's no pickups or drops or anything. They just put your best people in that score that week into the lineup. So it's a lot of fun. And it's for the first 14 weeks, then weeks 15, 16, and 17 are playoffs. You win a lot of money. Like I said in this one, it's a $1.5 million prize pool on DraftKings for $3. You can win $150,000. It's a fun lottery ticket to have. So I'm in 12 of those. I got a one entry in the single entry one, $5, and I'm doing 2 of the $20. And that's the draft I'm currently in. I'm going to do one more. The $20, that's the biggest one on DraftKings. $20 an entry. 15 million in prize pool. First place 2 million. Second place $1 million. It'd be amazing to make it to the finals. Apologize for the background noise with the puppies. If you know me, you know I'm a dog lover. So. But each week I'll kind of give, because I like to do daily fantasy as well. I play some small stakes, daily lineups. I'll set them on Sunday mornings. That's just kind of what I do. I like to get up on Sundays, set my lineups, watch my games, watch for my pick'ems, my survivors, my fantasy. It just makes the weekend so much fun. But that's really what I want to talk about each week is, where I'm at with my contests and stuff. If you want to get involved in any of the contests that me and my group are a part of, by all means, just reach out to me. Hope to entertain you a little bit. Hopefully we can make this podcast great by surviving and making some deep runs in Survivor. Like I said at the top of the podcast, that's going to be what my main focus is every week with this Survivor Zone, is the Survivor contest. I'll talk about Pick'em. Pick'ems are fun. They're great. I'm not a big sports bettor. I just like getting involved, a little bit of action on a lot of different avenues. Like I said, there's Survivor, there's a DraftKings, fantasy, there's Pick'ems. There's a lot of different ways to get involved with football, but truly the best time of the year. As you see, I'm wearing my Ohio State jersey, pumped up from yesterday's big win over Texas. Oh, what a game that was. Big Ohio State fan, love the Buckeyes. What a win. That was exciting to get the season started that way. But that's really all I got for you. Please comment and like. If you would, come back next week and we'll see who I picked. And I'll have a little bit of a video of the circa and my experience out there this week. And I'll tell you what that number actually gets to. Like I said, as of this morning, they were a little over 13,000 entries. I think they're going to pick up another 7,000 in the next 6 days. Most of the action comes in on the last week. So you'll get a lot of people entering this week into Circa Survivor. I'll be one of them, throwing 3 entries in there. So wish me luck and hope you follow along. Thank you very much for listening.